to quarterfinals. There's confirmation of what we've seen so far and what we've got coming up, because next up is women's singles. Yip Pui Yin of Hong Kong against Xuerui of China. Xuerui, just 20 years of age. Ian Spear of England, umpire for this one. Su Xiaofeng of China, service judge. So there's the 20-year-old from Chongqing in Sichuan province. Hong Kong's Yip Pui Yin. So women's singles second round encounter. Yip Pui Yin, 24 years of age, born in Shatin in Hong Kong. 17 in the world ranking at the moment. She had a marvellous win yesterday. But let's first look at Xuerui, the 20-year-old. 6th Chinese player on the world rankings and still at number 14, as you can see. Oh, it's an indication of the strength in depth. This is the third meeting between the two players. Last time they met was in the first round of the Singapore Super Series event. My goodness, what a scoreline, 21-4, 21-14. First time they met was also last year in the Asian Badminton Championships. 21-13, 21-8, so Xuerui won both previous encounters very comfortably indeed. But Yip Pui Yin is a very good athlete, as we first saw when she won a silver medal in the Asian Games. And her big scalp was this lady in the quarter-final stage, beat the Olympic champion Zhang Nin in Doha in those Asian Games and progressed through to the final, where she lost out to her teammate Wang Chen. So Hong Kong gold and silver, the 2006 Asian Games. And incidentally, she was bronze medalist last year at the Asian Games in Guangzhou. So Xuerui, the 20-year-old, will reach the final of the French Super Series event, where she lost out to her teammate Wang Xin in the final. Yip Pui Yin had a marvellous first-round victory over the number 6 seed Juliana Schenk from Germany yesterday. Won the opening game from 14-16 down to take it 21-18. Was a long way up in the second. She was 19-15 up and lost 6 straight points to lose that second game, and then saved 2 match points in the decider. 25-23. She eventually won through in 1 hour and 6 minutes. And as for her opponents, Xuerui beat Pi Hongyan of France in 2 straight games, so a much more comfortable game for this lady. Just 29 minutes against Pudong, who was incidentally born in the same city as Xuerui, both born in Chongqing. But you had a lot to do with Pudong, Ian, in France when she moved to Europe and developed very much as a player. But this is a player who I think is certainly has had some outstanding results. That silver medal in Doha, Yip Pui Yin. She's a great athlete on court, but sometimes I get the impression that she just so loves the rally, she doesn't take the opportunities to finish them off.
Always have the impression with Yip that she puts a lot of pressure on herself.
Yes.
You know, it's as a coach, you know, if you're under pressure from your opponent, fair enough. But I think Yip puts a lot of pressure on herself. She's very self-critical, quite negative about her own play a lot of the time. And sometimes you just wish she could just go out and play free, because she's a very talented player. But on the other side of the net, I would have to say Li is probably the rising star of the year, I would say, in ladies in singles. She's probably the player that's made the most progress this year. And the results are becoming very, very solid indeed.
Yes, and of course, as the 4th ranked Chinese player, sort of under the radar, because we're all talking about Wang Yihan, Wang Xin, Wang Zhixian.
Yep, and I think, as we've talked about it before, I think that's probably to her advantage at the moment. You know, she can develop in her own time. They're obviously not pushing her for the Olympics this time. They've got players ranked above her with more experience. So she's got some time to learn her trade. And for me, she's the player that's improved the most of the Chinese, certainly in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I've just given you duff information there, because she's actually the 6th ranked Chinese player, not the 4th.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if the world ranking was just over the last 6 months, so I think she'd be a lot higher. Certainly recently she seems to have made a bit of a breakthrough for me.
Yes, of course, Xuerui not only reached the final of the French Super Series, won in Thailand, the Thailand Grand Prix Gold event.
Just out, but a well-constructed rally. She's controlled it all the way through, but then just forced it out the side of the court. And that's often the problem playing against Yip. A lot of shuttles come back. She's quite tenacious, as you say. She likes the long rallies. She likes to play long rallies, likes to make it into a physical battle. But I'm not sure she's got the weapons here against Li. I think Li will be able to match her in terms of physicality, but she's actually got a little bit more skill and a little bit more variety technically.
Yeah, I think I can see the influence of Li-Ning on Li Xuerui's play. She's got that same sort of, well, she's a tall, elegant athlete, the same as the Olympic champion. But sometimes when she moves, I think you can see that almost upright carriage of her body, and an awful lot of the Chinese players are much shorter now, Wang Xin, Wang Zhixian, and they're very low in their movement, whereas she tends to be a little bit taller, and it's very similar to me of Li-Ning.
Yeah, Li uses her height very well, actually. She intercepts a lot of shuttles, and she hits very, very good angles. And as you say, a lot of the Chinese athletes at the moment are not able to do that due to their size. So it's a slightly different style of play. There we saw it. That's the advantage from the rear court, being able to bring the shuttle down steeply. It means she can follow in, she can stand tall on the court and use that height and reach that she has got.
Great backhand. can't get away with it. It's always a sign in singles that a player is in trouble and they turn and play the high backhand.
Yeah, good intensity from Yip though. Trying to reduce her opponent's time, using a little bit of smash, mixing it up with the clears to the rear court. And again, nice change of pace. Drive down the line, didn't want to lift to give her opponent time. Drove her opponent away from the net position, stepped in, took it early and used the space in the front court. Good play.
Nicely done, well-constructed rally.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you do give Li time in the rear court. She's got very good precision and very good angle. Yip's going to have to work really hard here to reduce her opponent's time in that rear court position, not to give her time to get organised.
Yeah, and we just saw a glimpse there of the self-critique of Yip Pui Yin. If she made that error, looked very disappointed, turned to her coach.
We see again great control from the rear court, actually turned, looked as though she was going to take the shuttle early, but was able to create great power and precision down the line.
Yeah, emphasising your point, well, not on the backhand, but coming forward to the net. Yeah. Yeah, even when she seems to be in trouble, she takes it early.
Yeah, once she gets that time in the rear court, she's really very, very dangerous. No preparation for that shot. Behind her opponent forced to lift. Very difficult to pick the direction with that short preparation.
Well, this is a run of 6 straight points because she was 8-10 down. Now 14-10 up. Good backhand. Yeah, and, once again, a little look from Yip Pui Yin towards her coach as they need to look for inspiration. Well, it needed an error from Xuerui to actually break the run of points.
Short lift.
Yeah.
She didn't want to lift it. She hesitated. Realised she'd probably got to because her opponent was staying up the court. And again, lethal power and precision from her opponent from the rear court, from that short lift.
206.
And again.
She's just piling on the pressure here and just won 10 of the last 11 points.
Again, read that reply from Yip, taking the shuttle too late on return of serve there, letting the shuttle come to her, so the deception wasn't as effective. And Li able to intercept and again use the penetration she's got overhead.
Gone long. Well, extraordinary turnaround by Xuerui. Unbelievable. 13 of 14 points going to Xuerui. Closing it out, 21-11. That really is very impressive indeed. Well, what on earth does Yip Pui Yin have to do here, Ian?
She needs to find a more consistent length, mix it up with some shorter slices to the front court. I think just make her opponent's court a little bit bigger to try and create some space. And above all, avoid the interceptions that she's given. Her trajectory's not been very good when she's been lifting to the rear court. She's given her opponent far too many chances to intercept the shuttle short.
Well, a Hong Kong coach looks as if he's trying to instill a bit of belief and encouragement.
Knows her well, he's been working with her a long time. Took her to the last Olympics in Beijing. I'm sure he'll be thinking the same as us, Jill, that he needs to get her believing in herself again. Her confidence was ebbing away clearly at the end of that first game. Needs to get her in a more positive frame of mind for this second game.
Yeah. Well, Ian, there's no doubting Yip Pui Yin has the ability to have some very big wins. We've mentioned, of course, that Asian Games when she beat the then Olympic champion, well, she's still Olympic champion, Jiang Ning, in the quarterfinal stage. But I remember Yip Pui Yin beating a certain Zhe Feng, first round of the All England Championships back in 2008. And Zhe Feng, of course, was then the three-time defending All England champion.
And super angle from the rear court from Li. Once she gets the chance to intercept the shuttle, she hits very good angles. And that's so short in the court, forcing Yip into the dive, unable to control the shuttle.
Just long. Well, I think perhaps a little bit in her career, just lost her way a little bit as she did in that opening game. You know, you've had a few good results early on when you've been a youngster and, you know, wasn't very well at one stage, lost an awful lot of weight and has come back from that. And, you know, you sort of expect her to build on those very big results, but I don't know what it is. Is it the perhaps not the same level of skill and deception overhead in comparison to the very top players in the world that Yip Pui Yin is lacking?
I think the key with Yip is a mental frame of mind in the matches that she does. She tends to, in my view, overanalyze a little bit negative on herself. She's a little bit of a perfectionist, and when her shots aren't working, she gets very negative, and we're seeing signs of it here again today. Certainly in 2007, 2008, she had some health problems. She was, from talking to one or two of the Hong Kong coaches, she was overtraining a little bit, ran herself down, got some blood problems, got some iron problems, and lost a lot of weight, and got into a bit of a downward cycle around sort of Beijing Games, was really struggling with fitness. But since then, as you say, she's come back physically, but not been able to find any real consistency with the results. The odd good win here and there, but not consistent enough, really.
No, that's right. I remember the first tournament of the year, which was the Super Series finals in January earlier this year, beat Tina Baum in the group stage of those Super Series finals, and I thought, yeah, you know, she's really back to full fitness, looks good, and she hasn't really been able to build on that for the rest of this year.
No, and again, I think she puts pressure on herself. You know, she has the big win, and then she's saying, right, I'm off, here we go, and then she expects to win everything and play perfectly all the time. And sometimes you've just got to get stuck in and fight when things aren't going your way. And Yip, I'm afraid, tends to get a little bit down on herself and get a little bit negative.
Indecision at the back of the court from Xuerui.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah, finds the line. Good smash. One of the few women players that loves to use the jump smash, Yip Pui Yin.
Yes, it's always been a feature of her game.
Yeah, I asked her about it once, and she was saying, oh, well, she'd watched Lin Dan play. She liked his style, and therefore she wanted to try and do the jump smashes as well. That shows a good attitude, doesn't it? Wanting to be adventurous, wanting to maybe take the game to do something a little bit different to the other players. And sometimes perhaps uses an awful lot of energy and doesn't get that much of an advantage from it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. again, lovely control. Super slice, enables her to get in early, make her opponent late, and good precision down the line.
Well, I think Li-Ning is saying something about push her deep into the back corner, then play to the net. Especially probably if she's using those fast angled, fast drop shots. Now forced to take it late. Oh, that's delightful. What a super shot.
Yeah, read it very early, didn't she? Took it on top of the net. That created the space.
Wasn't the cleanest of hits, but very effective.
No, took it early, intercepted it early. And again, we're seeing this little acceleration after the mid-game interval. 3 straight points, pulls her away.
Yes. Just seems to be in total control now. The Xuerui. 6 straight points. Yeah, look at the body language. Not good. Eight straight points. Oh, that's incredible. Great disguise, great precision.
Yeah, Yip probably felt she played a good return there for once she managed to get it behind her opponent. Her opponent just coming up with a super cross drop.
Missed it. So that error from Yip Pui Yin. And now 11 match points for the Xuerui. this time. Second time of asking. 21-11, 21-10. The victory there for the unseeded Xuerui. And really, there was two little passages of play there. In the opening game, from 8-10 down, 13 of the next 14 points, and then in the second, from, well, 10-7. Really just piled on the pressure, and there's confirmation of the scoreline that takes Xuerui into the quarterfinals for the third straight year.